So obviously we do a ton of videos where we kind of compare players and rank them against each other. So I figured today is a perfect day to finally make it clear where we stand on every player in the league, or at least the best ones, and we're going to rank our top 30 players in the NBA.
Yeah.
This one was tough. This one was so tough.
Tough as hell.
There's so much talent in the league, and like going from 9 to 13, right? Going from like outside the top 10, you always feel like you're leaving somebody out. This is tough. I can't wait to see our list though. It's gonna be fire.
Facts.
This just shows that like how talented the NBA is today.
Facts.
And I feel like over the last 3 or 4 years, you've been constantly saying, "Yo, this is the most talented the league has ever had." And like the year following, it always gets topped, just because so much improvement, so many like young elite players are stepping into the NBA.
Even outside of the top tier, like I think the most top tier loaded we've seen is like 2017 or so, back when we had like Harden, Curry, KD, LeBron, all could be like the best player in the league. But the problem with this year is that there's so many young players that made a big leap, so much has changed in your list this year. Like if you do the past 4 years, it's all been kind of the same, but now there's all these young guards specifically, so it'll be tough. I can't wait to see what you guys think. Before we get into it, we always forget to do this. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor, drop a like, subscribe, help the video get seen by more people. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate us 5 stars. All these platforms, you see our screen on the screen right now. You can see all of our Twitters. Go ahead and follow us all on there. Just keep up with everything. Yeah.
Yes, I need to pay my rent this month. Let's do
it. Let's get into it. I think we should start with the back half, or specifically the back third. Okay. So we can go one by one. Let's list out our 21 through 30. I'll go first. At number 30, I have Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
The hardest debate for me was putting him or De'Aaron Fox. So De'Aaron Fox is my first cut. He didn't make the list.
Wow.
We'll get into the reasons. It was tough.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I got Cat at 30, Gobert at 29, Ingram at 28, Darius Garland at 27, DeMar DeRozan at 26, Bam Adebayo at 25, Drew Holiday at 24, James Harden at 23, which is nuts, Jaylen Brown at 22, and Tyrese Halliburton at 21.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a lot to unpack right there.
Yeah, there's some similarities, some differences already.
Read out yours and then we'll go piece by piece.
I'm very interested. Why cut De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah.
So yeah, it came down to him versus Cat. And my gut, I'm like so anti-Cat naturally that I wanted to be like, oh, I don't want this big who can't defend and do all this. But like, at the end of the day, I think De'Aaron is just more normal. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of guards these days. His value above the rest of the comparable starters isn't as high. Like he's a very good, relatively high volume scorer. He's at 23 points per game right now on solid efficiency. Yeah. But it's not amazing efficiency. He's not an amazing passer. He's not.
Well, he's
so
amazing
good.
Inside. What are you talking? He's one of the his numbers inside are fucking ridiculous.
For sure, but there's a lot of other parts of the court where his scoring is just average. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, Cat, the matchup nightmares he creates, where 5s are too slow to guard him, 4s are too small to guard him. I think I didn't let myself get biased by the fact that they suck this year because they stupidly put him next to another center. I think if you adequately build around both of them, there's a little bit higher of a ceiling around Cat.
Yeah, I think I just don't like. I argue against that simply because I think your ceiling is automatically maxed out, capped when you have a center who is basically, you know what he is on defense.
Yeah, for sure. What if you put a really good 4 next to him like Draymond Green or Jared Vanderbilt like they had? You saw they had some success last year. Like you can find pieces around him to make up for those, and if you can make up for that.
Yeah, but we're talking about him as a player, not talking about like these what if things. We're talking about him,
Sure, but you got to account for when you're talking about value. You got to think about like using them correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. True. I just like guards a lot better who are easier to build around and play next to, and you don't need all these extra specific pieces next to them. Same thing, you can say you need certain pieces around De'Aaron Fox to help amplify his game, but you're like De'Aaron Fox is going to do what he does best at the end of the day, and if you put a non-shooter next to him, sure, he's still going to get his buckets off, but it's not going to be to the same effect. And you can say the same thing about Karl Anthony Towns and what is happening right now in Minnesota. I disagree with that. You put two. You have
it's
two.
Tough. I'm not mad at it,
two players in the Minnesota Timberwolves who are not even 500 right now, and the Sacramento Kings beam team. They're like top 6 in the Western Conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Light the beam.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah, that just tells you it's all about fit. It's all about fit. Like I have Gobert at 29, Cat at 30. Like individually, they're both great together. I didn't let myself get biased by the fact they look like shit together. Put them apart and build around them properly. They're both really good players.
Yeah, that's fair. Wait, okay.
That's not fair.
It kind of is. It kind of is because I won't go into my list right now, but I can understand the logic for having Fox like kind of outside the top 30.
He's 31, so it's like, I mean, you put him at 30, it's fine. They're clearly similar.
The top of that range. So you had who'd you have at 21?
I had Tyrese Halliburton at 21.
Okay.
So these next 5 names were so hard for me.
Okay.
Tyrese Halliburton at 21, Jaylen Brown at 22, James Harden at 23, Drew at 24, and Bam at 25.
Wow. Okay.
I'm cool with all of those. I'm cool with all of those. I think for Tyrese, a lot of it is like we just kind of see the greatness already. And I think like even though that the sample size has been really, really small in terms of like just this year taking that leap, it's very clear. Like none of the things that he's doing are he's
unsustainable.
Just none of them are like he's just playing crazy right now. They're all things of like building blocks of this is why.
Sure.
This is why
people are gonna say I'm overreacting, putting him higher. Like people are gonna hate that Jaylen Brown is behind him because Jaylen Brown has a bag, averages a lot of points, and people don't watch the Pacers. They don't really see what Tyrese is doing. But Tyrese is leading the league in assists. He's probably like the 4th or 5th best passer alive. He has a 60% true shooting percentage on 20 points per game. So he's like elite of the elite scorer already. Not the volume that some of these other guys are at, but like still 20 points per game on elite shooting. And clearly he's like, they're winning games. Like the Pacers are surprisingly good because of him and the offensive engine he is. Like I wanted to put him higher, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm cool with all of that. Your list makes sense to me. Honestly, no complaints.
How do you guys feel about the DeRozan placement at 26? Because that one was one I feel like people are going to hate too.
I mean,
I'm fine with that.
I don't have any crazy gripe against it. I mean, DeMar DeRozan is doing DeMar DeRozan things, but like, are you letting some of the Bulls? He's not having as good of a season as last year, but I wonder if if the Bulls being asked had any decision with that too.
I think it's the opposite. I think last year him being so good, remarkably better than he's ever been, kind of had too much of an impact in people's mind and made him think he was better than he is. And I feel like now he's just being regular DeMar DeRozan, right? Like, I think last year was kind of an anomaly in terms of shot making.
Yeah.
Listen, he goes. I think you're right. And to be honest, I have him ranked at the exact same spot. He's 26.
Love to see it.
He's 20. He's 26 for me. It's just like there was a lot of stuff like we never saw DeMar act the way that he was acting last year.
Bro, he was crazy last year. Yeah.
Scoring 35 every night on 50-60% shooting is just ridiculous.
All these game winners.
The whole Bulls run from last year, they were not supposed to be good as good as they were. I think the Bulls team that we're seeing this year is more indicative of the talent that they have around them. This is kind of what I thought they were going to look like at the start of last season. They had a lot of like non-defenders, weird fits, and obviously like Lonzo's injury has hurt everything. Zach LaVine's knees are falling off the bone and everything, but like
damn.
Yeah. They are. But yeah, DeRozan, he's solid. He's a 2K guy, and you can go get buckets with him.
Exactly. I don't think most people realize just how bad of a defender he is because he's big. He doesn't scream bad defender, but like he don't be doing shit out there. He just stands around like he does not have any type of presence on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me hear one of your guys's. Get the next person going.
All right, I'll go.
I can go. Go ahead. Sounds like you're similar to Isaac.
Yeah. Okay. So at 30, so we'll go 30 up.
Yeah. Go backwards.
Okay. So at 30. I have Brandon Ingram. At 29, I have Cat. 28, I have Gobert. 27, I have De'Aaron Fox. 26, I have DeMar DeRozan. 25, I have Jaylen Brown. 24, I have James Harden. 23, I have Darius Garland. At 22, I have Bam. And at 21, I have Kyrie.
Oh, so you have no Drew Holiday?
No, I don't.
What?
Damn.
I don't.
I feel like I was too low on Drew Holiday, but dude,
I don't. And that's one of Drew Holiday is going to be one of the ones at the turn that that gets like left off. But and it's like I felt like this at every single of like the 1920, 9-10 where I'm like they should be top 10, they should be top 20, this and that.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen. But yeah, that's my list.
Okay, so explain De'Aaron over Drew Holiday to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that with De'Aaron Fox's improved shooting this year, I think he adds a lot more. And there's some stuff with Drew. I see him and he's a fantastic defender. He can distribute the ball well. Offensively, whenever he scores, and I feel like every time I watch him, he's so erratic in terms of his scoring and his shooting. And there's some nights where Drew Holiday,
as in like inconsistent. Is that true?
Yeah. There's some nights where Drew Holiday is gonna be 11 of 13 and he's gonna have this really good game, and then there's other times where I'm gonna turn on and he's gonna be 2 for 15. And I don't think that I get that variance on the offensive end in terms of scoring with De'Aaron. And so I think that matters a lot. I think that De'Aaron being 1 on his team instead of Drew being 2.5, I guess 2.
Yeah.
That also
him and Chris are pretty similar, just different roles.
Yeah, but like that adds some value for De'Aaron for me.
Chris is somebody we should mention. We both left off. He was another person with De'Aaron Fox who was like in that 31-32 range. He just didn't quite make it. Want to make sure we give him a little bit of flowers. He's in this range. Yeah.
And it's also weird because we haven't seen that much of Chris this year, because of injury. But like when he's healthy, he's one of the reasons why I picked the Bucks to win the championship is because I thought that his ability to score and space the floor and also play make is going to help the Bucks a great deal. But yeah, so that's why I would have De'Aaron over Drew.
Gotcha. Okay, what else stood out to you, Mo?
Where is De'Aaron at on your list?
De'Aaron's at 27. He's over Gobert. He's over Cat. He's over Brandon Ingram.
Oh, no, we should do so we can look at this. Send the 10 you just named. Send it in the group chat so we can read them as you talk.
Okay.
And Perfect. I'll send mine too.
Gotcha.
One other thing you said, you had Brandon Ingram at 30 and Cat at 27 or 28 or maybe it's 29. Mm-hmm. What's the logic behind Cat above Ingram?
That sticks out like crazy.
Okay, I think listen, y'all. Wait, let me send this list over to you guys. But okay, cool. Y'all should have it.
Ingram's hard to rank right now because some people Ingram's kind of divisive right now. Some people view him as like maybe he's pushing number 20, 19. So having him as low as 30 is interesting to me.
I think that Cat offensively is just much more talented. I think he's a better offensive player than Brandon Ingram. I think he can.
I have no problem with that.
I think he can space the floor much more than Brandon Ingram. I think that for me, my biggest criticism of Cat has been more on the mental side, more on the defensive side. But Brandon, but offensively, there's not a lot that he can't do. And like you said, it's not his fault that they paired him with the worst person that you would want to pair him with. And so he's looked very pedestrian this year. But if you look at everything that he was doing coming into this year, you know, he has the whole thing where he's like, I'm the greatest shooting big man of all time. I don't agree with that, but he has a claim because he's like that.
For sure.
You know? And so he can score at volume, he can do all that. And Brandon still hasn't gotten to that level of high volume scoring that Cat has.
Is that just because of who he's playing with?
Because it's just who he's playing with, and I think you're
even
at this point,
even last year, whenever Zion's not. Yeah, even last year, whenever Zion's not there, he doesn't get to 24, 25. Like, a bad offensive season for Cat is still, right now, the peak for Ingram. And Ingram may very well get there. He just hasn't done it yet. And so that's why I'm taking Cat right there.
Okay, so I'll let
you go first, Mo.
Yeah, so my thing is, Isaac, can you, to the viewers, can you tell them how we're shaping out our top 30 in, our tier we used?
Good. I probably should have said this earlier. You're right.
Yeah.
So we're going to view this as this season, but not just this season. Picture it like if we've been doing this for years, there's power rankings that change as you go, but it's not just based off the last 25 games that have been made this year. It's also accounting for what was done before. So, we have some idea of sample size in there. So we're constantly moving it with a big emphasis on this season, but not solely this season, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And a little bit of this is placed on future projections and just a little bit of expectations.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I expect someone like Brandon Ingram to go ahead and eventually go crazy. Maybe not within these next 20 to 30 games, but maybe towards the back half of the season, simply because the Pelicans have so much to fucking work on. They're fucking elite already. They're not elite. All right. They're great.
They're absolutely elite.
They're at the top of the conference.
Yeah, but I won't put them in the final. When I think of elite, I'm like, this team can win the finals, and I'm damn near already there for that.
We'll say this for next episode, but pretty soon we're gonna be talking about them like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't see the logic for Cat behind Brandon Ingram. But I can't be too mad at that. I understand it for sure. Maybe
I
it's
see
just
the
me
logic
being
for
so
sure.
down on Cat. Maybe
I
it's
see
just
what
me
you
being
mean.
so down on Cat. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah, me too.
I think it's safe to say that we're not a pro Cat podcast, right?
To put it lightly.
Yeah. So like, it was something that I definitely was thinking about, and I wanted him to. I didn't want to put him there, but he's a really freaking good player.
Yeah.
Facts.
So I think the thing for me, why I put, because obviously I have him close to you. I think I had Ingram at 28, Cat at 30. For me, I mentioned how in the best case scenario you have this version of Cat you can build around that is like elite on offense and you can really do some interesting stuff with if you hide his defense. But there's nothing that you have to hide with Ingram. He's not a great defender, but he's like a fine defender, I think, at this point. And he fits into so many different ways of style of play. Like we talk about Paul George a lot as being the most perfect portable star that you can put next to other stars and he elevates you.
Yeah.
I think Ingram's in that mold where he fits next to other players really well now that his outside shooting is so good. He's not quite the shooter of PG, not quite the defender of PG, not quite the playmaker of PG, so he's a worse version of that. But I think that same logic makes him have more value, if that makes sense. Like just that role as a wing who can create his own shot and play next to other stars is extremely valuable.
Yeah, I think if you're making, and like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but if you're trying to make like a 2K build, Brandon Ingram's like what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
But like what has actually happened with him, we've seen the best of Brandon Ingram for stretches, right? We saw it in the playoffs for that stretch. We saw it at the end of last season, even during his time with the Lakers. We saw stretches of him where he's like doing all this. I just haven't seen it consistently enough to where I'm gonna put him over somebody that has the offensive caliber of Cat.
Yeah. It is easy to get caught up in the negative with Cat and forget that like we have seen him at his peak be considered much higher than 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that stands out from?
No,
I guess
I think your list is pretty straight.
Yeah, you have Garland pretty high, which I want to put him there too. But I think when you look at the numbers this year, he's actually like not shooting nearly as well as you would think for his caliber of like what you see when you watch him play. He looks so electric off the dribble. He's actually like not that efficient. I think he has like a 56% true shooting percentage, which is like
He's
nothing
shooting
crazy.
like 42 or something like that from the field. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Garland's
It's not bad,
Garland's
but
the
it's
one. Garland's the one that I probably did the most like projecting forward. I really like Darius Garland, so I put him a
too.
lot higher. So
I noticed that Tyrese Halliburton isn't here, so you put Tyrese over Kyrie, which I like. I won't spoil it. We'll wait.
Wow.
Let's wait until we get there. But I was tempted to do the same thing. I have them very close together, but we'll see where you put Tyrese. I'm excited.
All right, so now it's my time to go ahead and put my last
your time to shine.
30 in, and I'm gonna go ahead and enter this in the group chat. All right, and I'm ready to get shot up. All right,
Awesome.
you know, I feel like my list is very different from y'all's, and I'm gonna go ahead and read this out to the viewers. So at 30, I have Drew Holiday. At 29, I have DeJounte Murray. At 28, you know, projecting for the future, I have LaMelo Ball.
Oh,
27, I have. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're
Okay.
just for the viewers. Kawhi is not on any of this list. All right.
Oh yeah, good mention. We're not counting Kawhi because he hasn't played all year last year and barely played this year. So we're gonna wait until we see what he looks like.
Exactly. And I was supposed to do this. We were all supposed to basically do the same thing with LaMelo Ball, but I was like, fuck all that shit. I'm putting LaMelo in that bitch. So LaMelo 28, De'Aaron Fox 27, Bam Adebayo 26, 25 is Darius Garland, 24 Tyrese Halliburton, and I'm a huge Tyrese Halliburton fan. All right, so this is just for now. Anyways,
you're just
23
saying that.
Anthony Edwards, 22 DeMar.
You don't mean that.
23 Anthony Edwards, 22 DeMar, and 21 is Jaylen Brown. So
okay. Well, first thing you gotta get into Anthony Edwards because that's obviously you have him high as fuck. We didn't put him top 30.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards over these last few games since Cat has been out hasn't been spectacular, but he's been a lot better, and I think he's been figuring out how to play with a center like Rudy Gobert, and I think the chemistry is starting to grow and build a lot better compared to how it started. And I'm projecting into the future a little bit. Of course, I don't think the Timberwolves are going to be a sub 500 team. I think that's what they are right now. And I expect them to be around that fucking 42, 43, 45 win range, whatever the case may be. And I just think that Anthony Edwards, his potential is still...
This isn't listed potential, though. Like
it has little... Some of the qualifications for this is based on just a little bit of it, not a lot.
Okay, I guess.
So based off of what he did last year in the playoffs as well, hella impressive. And it was important. I should have mentioned this, but Cat in the playoffs as well. That's why I didn't have him on
that's
this
fair.
list.
If you counting playoff performance makes much more sense than just like purely potential. So
yeah,
I understand that. But I don't know. I feel like at this point he's not an above average passer. people want to say he's going to be this great defender. He's a solid defender. He's not bad anyway. He can contribute to a good defense, but he's not like overtly impactful. And his scoring is like there. His self creation is impressive, but it's not quite put together to the point where it's like dominant and like as efficient as you need from someone in that role. Like he's just barely above league average efficiency with a 56% true shooting. Like I don't see how he's above some of the other names on this list. Like how is he better than James Harden? You know what I mean?
That is true. James Harden, when it comes to efficiency, is in the same range, or maybe a little bit worse, whatever the case may be.
Is James Harden on your list?
Oh shit, he's not.
He's not on this part. He's not on this part. He's on my list, but he's not on this part.
Oh, okay.
He's higher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, what stands out to me, and one of the biggest discrepancies that I've seen, of course, is the whole Anthony Edwards thing. And then I would say,
I think it's also the fact that
is not on the list.
That's what I was gonna say. I think the fact that DeJounte Murray is on this list, and I think the fact that Jaylen Brown is at 21, and I know for you, you probably were trying to push Jaylen Brown a little bit higher. Is that right?
I was trying to push him a little bit higher just to give him flowers for how well he's been playing. He's averaging like fucking 27 points per game right now.
He's been great this year.
Yeah.
So he's been fucking balling, and like I know that like if I'm taking peak players, this is not about a peak list right now. It's just about like top 30 based off of what we've seen in the past, and also like where we feel like they're going to end up, and then at the end of the season. And when it comes to just this right now, I'm definitely taking Jaylen Brown over every single one of these dudes that we have under them. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Anthony Edwards. What to me, I feel like a big litmus test is Anthony Edwards versus Tyrese Halliburton. I know they're close together, so you probably view them similarly. But like, I'm taking Tyrese over Ant easily, and I'm surprised you don't, because I know you value passing a lot.
Yeah, I definitely do value passing a lot, and my thing is that I feel like Anthony Edwards can get there. Tyrese Halliburton is basically already there.
What have you seen from Ant that makes you think he can be a great playmaker? I feel like we haven't seen a single bit of that.
I've seen potential. I've seen the growth ever since Cat has been out of the lineup so far. I've seen.
Okay, maybe I haven't watched him enough lately, so maybe.
But to the level of
no, hell no, not to the level. It's the all around package with Ant, and just the ability to be like, fuck it, go get me a bucket, and that his scoring ability will separate to Tyrese Halliburton. I believe that Anthony Edwards will be able to go ahead and be at a not great level of a passer, but just an all right passer.
Yeah.
And slightly above average passer compared to Tyrese Halliburton and him being a fucking 25 point per game scorer. I don't think that's.
Do you consider Anthony Edwards a better scorer than Tyrese Halliburton right now?
Right now, I would say so.
I see why you say that.
It depends on what you value, but I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people say that because his build and the type of player he is. But if you look at it, 23 on average efficiency or 20 on elite efficiency. So it's like.
But it's also important about how they get their buckets, though.
True.
Yeah.
That's what separates it to me, and I feel like
I guess it's Go ahead.
I feel like Tyrese he has a limit on how he fucking scores because of how he shoots. That's the main thing. He's not getting his buckets in a variety of ways compared to how someone like Anthony Edwards is. You know,
what are the variety of ways do you think separates them? Like, is it creation at the rim? Like, is that the difference to you?
It's Yeah, you could say creation. That's a perfect example. Creation at the rim is a fucking great example. But also just simply because of how he shoots, his shot is amazing. But there's just certain moves that he cannot do. There's just certain moves that he cannot do. And also, like, what do you mean, like what?
Like what shots can't Tyrese
What's
Halliburton?
holding Tyrese back right now?
What shots can't he make that Anthony Edwards can make?
Well, one of the things
or is even able to take, I guess, in your.
I assume you're talking about mid-range stuff because he doesn't quite have that footwork. It's kind of not where he likes to live. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, things like that. There's just certain things that are missing in part of the game where I'm like, this dude is elite, but I don't know if he can be the elite. He can be the elite of elite. He's already elite with how he's playing.
I know what you mean, but I think that's just. I think what that is what a lot of people do, kind of fall into like a visual bias on the archetypes of player we've come to expect, is where you see Anthony Edwards and he's an athletic two guard that can dunk and finish at the rim and shoot off the dribble. You kind of like view him in that package that a lot of former stars have been. And then Tyrese looks funky. You know, he doesn't shoot mid ranges this year. Like we went from 41% of his shots being mid last year to 26. So like he's not shooting them at all. Instead, he's just shooting from above the break threes and at the rim. And you could say that's rigid, but I think it's like by choice. You know what I mean? And I think in terms of impact, it isn't as versatile as you're saying, like for Ant, which I understand. But I don't think it's out of inability. I think it's like just style of play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know because even in college, fucking Tyrese didn't get to the rim like that. He's in his first couple years in the league. He I think he averaged like one free throw a game. The fuck is that shit, bro?
It's only 3 now. Like it is tough. Three made a game.
Yeah, exactly. But if he ever figures that part of the game, then okay, if he figures that part out of the game, and also Anthony Edwards doesn't end up getting there, and doesn't project to how I think he's going to project it, then okay, you got it, But I'm not. I'd be willing to bet my last dollar that Anthony Edwards will end up as a better player.
Really? You gonna be broke
for sure.
You gonna be broke.
I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that.
Okay. No, they're close. I get it. I see the vision with you're weighing potential more than we are. I think we're kind of like we're not really weighing potential into it, which that's the difference. And if that's the case, sure. Prior to the season, if you would have asked us to make a list of what we assume it'll be, we would have put Anthony Edwards higher. He just hasn't really like put it together, and the way he's struggling with the team construction is like a flaw, I think, of his.
Yeah. But I'm looking at his fucking playoff stats, dog. He had 25 on 45%
he was great.
shooting from the field. Was nice. Fucking 40 from the field. He was nice as fuck. And I'm just like, when it comes to young players, I'm projecting a little bit more. I'm projecting a little bit more and taking a little bit from their past. So
okay, yeah, I understand. Anyway, I think we could probably move on to the next 10. I don't see anything terribly crazy about the rest of your list. Obviously, LaMelo Ball's on our list. I don't think he should be.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, he just dropped 27 on the fucking Hawks, so I was like, yeah, this dude needs to be back on. I think that game literally put him on my list, so I was reaching for that one.
And DeJounte Murray's on there, just Hawks bias. Like, DeJounte Murray's very good, but, like, he's not better than Drew Holiday. I'm not going there. He put up better numbers last year because he's higher usage, but I think Drew's a better defender, and that's the main thing that DeJounte is great at. I guess he's a better passer than Drew, but other than that,
he's a better defender and passer and just, I think, overall scorer, but, I mean, Drew has. I give Drew his flowers. I'm not going to the nail with that. Drew is solidified on that.
Yeah. Maybe I would have been more inclined to put Murray higher if he was on a team where he wasn't being minimized next to Trey. If I would have felt like we could see it again, maybe that sample size would have got me. So I don't hate it.
All right, let's get into this next one. I'm curious.
We spent a lot of time on the back 10. Let's move on.
Yeah. That's the most toughest part.
This part is going to be very fun because we're going to get the cutoffs from the top 10, and this is the one where it's going to feel disrespectful whenever we're talking about the 11th best player in the league.
Exactly.
This feels like the most serious conversation we've had right now.
I know, fact. It's so serious and not loose. I was thinking that.
Bro, this list was hard to make.
It's hard as fuck.
I honestly didn't have like a great time making this list because I just felt
I had a terrible time.
I felt so bad, like leaving people.
On this bit stressed.
Bro, I was putting myself through all these mental exercises, trying to like, what does value mean?
Yeah.
What is impact?
He pulled out his basketball philosophy book for this thing.
Facts. That's what I got to do.
Yeah, this list got real existential.
Facts. Okay. So here's my next 10. At 20, I have Kyrie Irving. 19, Trae Young. 18, Pascal Siakam. 17, Zion Williamson. 16, wait, am I reading this right? I'm not looking at the numbers. I forgot I just lost my place. Yeah, okay. 16, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 15, Donovan Mitchell. 14, Jimmy Butler. 13, Devin Booker. 12, Damian Lillard. And 11, Paul George.
Okay.
This was hard. I hated this. I put myself through hell. Placing Tyrese, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Trae Young, and Kyrie was incredibly difficult. Like, there's so much around Kyrie. How do you weigh that? I ended up throwing him at 20.
Okay. I forgot to throw in. I literally had Shai on my list, and then I left Shai out on my list, bro. I have to.
Oh, dumbass.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay,
so go ahead and think about that. You're obviously gonna knock number 30 off, so Drew Holiday's off the list for you. Go ahead and think about where you're gonna put Shai.
Okay, I'm looking at your list right now, Isaac. Mm-hmm. What's the argument for Paul George over Dame?
Yeah, I think they're incredibly close. I don't really have a great one. If you want to flip them, Dame could be 10 through 12. I wouldn't argue. Mm-hmm. I think what it is for Paul George is what I described earlier, where he's just the perfect star to play next to other stars. And I think portability next to stars is the most important thing for being at this top tier. Because a lot of players could be the number one guy in a team and lead you to a solid, manageable offense. Mm-hmm. That's very doable in the modern NBA. Not a lot of guards have the ability to play next to other ones and still thrive. Like Trae Young's at number 19 right now because we're seeing him and DeJounte Murray struggle together. Not really his fault because DeJounte's a shit fit with him, I think. But you kind of see why Trae isn't as conducive to playing next to other stars because he needs the ball in his hands. Paul George has never been that guy. He produces at the highest level, great efficiency, great on-ball defense, can shoot, is portable next to other guys, and he is not needy in any way.
Okay. Okay. That's
just a lot of value there.
That's fair. That's fair. I think
defense is the main thing that separates those two, I think.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm happy that you gave Jimmy Butler his respect.
Yeah, I mean, originally I had him over Devin Booker because I felt obligated to, because people want to tell me that Jimmy Butler is Superman. But I ended up putting Devin Booker above him because I just think Devin Booker's better. I think Devin Booker's a better off-ball player. He's better with the ball in his hands. Obviously, he's not as good of a defender. I think he's more consistent, especially in the regular season, which matters. People seem to think it doesn't, but it matters to lead the seeding and wins, and I would easily pick him.
I think the most interesting thing on your list right now is Zion over Siakam.
Yeah, it was hard.
I think that's the one for me where I'm looking at it.
Really? Why is that? Why are you looking at it like sideways?
Because Siakam's really good. Siakam's he's two-time All NBA, and like
Siakam's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not passionate about that. Like, if you want to flip him, go ahead. Especially because Siakam's like a noticeably better defender right now. I think with Zion, the thing is that I'm using recency bias right now with Zion, but because I think it's very like replicable and it's going to be who he is going in the future. We're seeing him the last like 2 weeks scoring 30, 35, 32, like every night, just being an elite high volume scorer because he's finally putting it together on how to use his rim volume to also be a better playmaker and leverage that for create outside shots for his teammates. And his defense is getting better. I just think we're starting to see him put it together that it's kind of like with Tyrese Halliburton. I'm willing to be one of the early ones on putting him up higher rather than waiting a long time and making him prove it to me. I'm ready to say this is who he is.
Listen, that's cool because again, I kind of did the same thing with Zion. I did a lot of projecting with Zion.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it. I just think that pairing and seeing those two names next to each other is really interesting.
And also Siakam's great because he's this great off-ball defender. He can be this help side guy and a versatile on-ball defender. His passing has been great this year. He's averaging almost 7 assists, and can create lots of shots off the dribble. But he's not as efficient as a scorer as you would think. So like, if he was like a really high-level scorer, then it'd be like, oh, this guy's got to be like damn near number 10.
Yeah.
But because he's a good shot creator for himself, not great, I'm willing to put him below Zion, who I think shot creation for him is just way more impactful.
Yeah, I think the Shea love is very interesting. Seeing Shea over Trae Young right now, I don't know. I know that Trae is having a down season and the fit hasn't been fantastic. I do think that Trae's ability to pass and score at a high level is it's fantastic. It's Tyrese like. I think he's like he's the next tier of Tyrese. You know,
for sure. And I agree. I don't hate that. If you want to put Trae higher, go ahead. Like before the season, I was like Trae Young might be the third best point guard in the league. I've kind of calmed down a little bit just because I feel like I was ignoring things with him that I don't ignore with other people. Like
what?
I was giving him an excuse for his defense. I'm like, oh, his offense is so good, it doesn't matter. But like when you're looking at him next to Shea is just as efficient of a high volume scorer. They're both. Trae's like 27 point per game guy. SGA is a legitimate 30 point per game guy on elite efficiency. And he's not the passer he is, but he's still a pretty good passer. You know, like 6.5 assists per game. Like he's not like tunnel vision. And the fact that he is at least average, perhaps above average as a defender, to the point where you compare that to Trae Young and what he brings to that end, I think it's a bigger gap than anything on offense is.
Okay.
Shea's great on defense. I'm just surprised because like you don't think, again, this is a little bit of projection. You don't think that Trae Young will eventually turn the corner and.
No, why do you think Trae will be a good defender ever?
No, I'm not. Did I say defense? I didn't mean to say
defense. My bad. I didn't let you finish. Go ahead.
No. Do you think he'll turn the corner eventually and go on a fucking random ass hot streak and get that efficiency up? Will that be enough for you to?
Yeah. So I'm not counting his efficiency this year. He's currently shooting 28% from three. We all fucking know Trae Young doesn't shoot 28% from three. Cool. It's just a cold streak. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that even if he shoots how he does last year, he's back to being this like elite dynamo on offense. I'm still taking Shea over him.
Wow, that's crazy.
For now, it's tough. It's tough. I know.
Yeah,
it's tough. I just think that the way Shea scores, and he's playoff proof. I think we've seen in the past Trae Young get dick slapped by the Miami Heat because they're able to kind of like the way he plays is more susceptible to counters. You can kind of do certain things, trapping him on screens to take away his scoring because he's not really scoring at the rim like that. I think Shea has a type of scoring that you can't really scheme out because he makes tough shots at the rim. He's physically imposing. You can't do anything about that. I just think especially in a playoff setting, I'd rather have his archetype of player.
Okay, that makes sense. I had Trey a little bit. I guess like for me, whenever I was doing this list, Trey's ranking dropped a little bit from what I thought he was in my head, kind of for the same reason of we like you say he got locked up by the Heat. I'm not gonna say that, but like he got clamped, and I think that like how much does playoff success mean for you guys on this list?
It's a good question. You go first, Mo.
I think playoff success for these young guys, it means something, but it doesn't mean a hell of a lot. It just gives you an extra cool point, and it confirms all the thoughts that I already had about you, but it doesn't weigh as much as for other people, for me personally.
Yeah. I think people will have a bad habit of using playoff success and really just like outcome in general as a huge source of bias, where if the player they kind of feel iffy about wins, then oh good, but if they loses, then it's a reason to be like, oh, I told you he's trash. So we hold too heavily to these, like a lot like people with Jason Tatum last year in the finals, like oh he's the choker, Jaylen Brown might be better. All that bullshit is stupid. So I try to make sure I don't try to like use playoff success as like the decision maker, because a lot of people do that and it's just bad analysis.
Yeah.
But I think in this case you use it as
like a tiebreaker.
Not even a tiebreaker. Use it contextually and you see what you learn from it. I think with Trae Young specifically against the Heat, we learned that there's ways to throw bodies at him and throw him off his rhythm, where his lack of size, he can't pass up those double teams as well. And that kind of, schematically, you can take him out of the game that way. I think we learned that you can do that. So until he can overcome that, that's something that matters in the playoffs. But it's not just the fact that he shot 10% from the field or whatever. It's how it happened. And I think you learn things that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, for the viewers, like specifically really applies for young players. I'm not clinging on to no first or second year thing. Like for someone like Jimmy Butler, he deserves that type of respect because you already know what it is and you know who he is. It's already proven. You have to get that respect. For guys like Trae Young and fucking whoever else you want to throw in that category, like I'm not gonna put too much into too much argument. It's not gonna be anything with playoffs, bro. Went crazy during the 2021 playoffs, but I will never mention that at all. When it comes to
how do you guys feel about Donovan Mitchell versus Devin Booker?
I've always thought Devin Booker has always been better, like his entire career. That I can understand the vision and why people say those things, but I just feel like I don't know. It's tough because
really
Donovan is fucking, he's snapping this season, but also Devin Booker is doing the exact same thing to probably even a better degree. So I don't know.
Donovan's been crazy.
D. Mitch has surprised me, and I think you guys are going to see that in my ranking. But he surprised me this year because I think in Utah, after they started to flame out like 2-3 times, like you start looking at them and it's like, okay, are you just this like high usage volume scorer, and like you're the main guy, and basically like the only guy who could really really create your shot on your team? Are you just a product of that? But his transition over to Cleveland and being able to run, basically run point whenever Darius Garland is out and show his playmaking skills like that, be able to score at probably one of the highest levels that he's had in his entire career and really mesh over. And Isaac, you were talking about PG's ability to mesh in and out of systems. D. Mitch was able to show that for me this year. So I have him fairly high on my list. Okay. He's shown me a lot.
He's been great. I mean, he's averaging 30 on 62% true shooting. Like that's a ridiculous volume and efficiency combination. Like I think this year he might have been better than Devin Booker. But because of what I know about Devin Booker, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt of being a more portable player that you want to build around and like can do the stuff off ball, a little better of a defender, etc. So I'm giving Booker that credit he deserves. But man, if this keeps up the rest of the season, Mitch is going to finish higher than him.
That's crazy. After what Devin Booker did, fucking last night especially. Wow.
Listen, I'm not no reason to be biased, and I'm not going to let that shit bias me. He was great though. He's fantastic.
We don't care.
Oh my god.
We don't care. It's the Suns. We don't care.
Will have to put a hit up on your head the more you say that,
so
bro.
Funny. All right, Donovan, show me your list. Let's keep going.
All right. Yeah. Here is my 11 through 20. Boom. Dropped in the chat.
Ooh, AD at 11.
Wow.
All right, don't spoil it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, well, I work bottom up, but I have Tyrese at 20. I picked him over Kyrie. Tyrese at 20. SGA at 19, Jimmy Butler at 18, Siakam at 17, Booker at 16, Trae Young at 15, D Mitch at 14, PG at 13, Zion at 12, and then AD at 11. And so I'm gonna break down a couple of the stuff because that I already know.
You're gonna get me mad.
The Jimmy Butler one.
Yeah, man.
I know. I really like Jimmy Butler, and I appreciate what he does in the playoffs. However, it bothers me that for 8 months out of the year, he's just regular, right?
Same.
I think there is while there's a lot of value in being able to take your team and put them on your back and go ahead and do all of that. Hey, it's also really hard and really valuable to do that for the 82 game season that we play for 8 months so that we can get good seeding. And I just personally don't like the fact that he's not that guy. And so he's a really good player. He can create for other people. He plays, solid defense. But if you're only playing for 2 months out the year and you're supposed to be the guy, if this is Draymond Green and I only need Draymond to be like the best version of himself because he's the third, fourth option on the team, that's fine. If you're going to be the linchpin of my team, if you're going to be the franchise player, I need you to step up every single night. And he doesn't really do that. And so
You're spitting right now.
And so that's why I have Jimmy Butler at 18.
I'm with it.
Wow.
The one thing that makes me mad, first off, you put Dame over Anthony Davis. I think that's ludicrous of what we've seen this year. How is Anthony Davis not top 10?
It's okay. I think that all of this, and this is where it really, really got tough. I didn't want what Dame is doing this year to get lost, right? He's been out a couple games, but if you look at his numbers, he's still averaging the same amount of points on the same amount of efficiency that he's always had. The 3-point shooting is there. His playmaking is still there. And I think that when Dame is at his best, right, when Dame is Dame, he's a top 10 player. And I think that for both him and AD have injury concerns. AD literally just got hurt the other night.
We'll save it for Tuesday's show, man.
Yeah, I know. But
we're recording this early, by the way. I don't know if I forgot to tell you guys. We're recording this like a week and a half early because Mo graduated college, so he's gonna be on a cruise. So we're recording it early. Shout out Mo.
Yeah, shout out Mo. Congrats, man. But yeah, I think that Dame at his best is a top 10 player. So I'm gonna give Dame that respect. If you put AD higher, I'm not gonna fight you, and it's not even like a big gap.
I'm gonna fight you.
Huh?
I'm gonna fight you for putting him lower. You said Dame's at his best, he's top 10. If AD's at his best, he might be top 5. If we're doing that logic.
That's true. I also want to say this is the space where, listen, I did a lot of overreacting. We put a lot of talks out there. I did a lot of capping for Shea. I did a lot of capping for AD. There was a lot of things said. I took my time. I'm going to walk these things back a little bit. We're going to come down. I centered myself on this list.
I lied.
Yeah, basically. But yeah,
fair enough.
That's where I see it.
What else stands out to you, Mo?
There's a big swing on your list, Isaac's list, and Donovan's list when it comes to Zion Williamson. Zion is like what? What is he for you? He's 12.
Yeah,
he's
12.
It's high.
Yeah,
I don't hate it though.
I think
why you got him that high?
Zion Williamson is one of the most incredible forces that we've ever seen in the NBA, and it's like when Zion is scoring at the rim, which those numbers have gone up. When Zion Williamson has the ball in his hands, which we've seen recently, his playmaking has gotten better. He's extremely efficient. He's a great offensive rebounder. He's passable on defense. Not like we're starting to see him try. You're right. We're starting to see him try a little bit harder on defense. And so, if he's just not a net negative on defense, offensively, there's so much pressure that he puts on the defense on every single play, whether you're talking about pick and rolls, lob threats, all this stuff, and whether he's the roll man or he's the one handling the ball, he's extremely versatile. And he you want to talk about, projecting, and I didn't take this into account, but if he gets any type of set 3-point shot, then, he's going to skyrocket and all that stuff. But I think that Zion right now is him, and he's really starting to step into
Timothy.
yeah, he's really starting to step into everything that we thought we were going to see at the beginning of the season. Because like right now, right when we talked about the Pelicans a couple weeks ago, and Zion was shooting about like 55%. It was a very, very low percentage for him. Right now, Zion is shooting on the year 61%, which is the same percentage that he was shooting 2 years ago when he was an All-Star and everybody was projecting it. So I think that Zion is here, and he has shown his ability, and so that's why I'm having him that high.
Honestly, I don't have an issue with anything you said. I think I'm just too pussy to do it right now. I give it some time. But like by the end of the season, I'll probably be up there with you.
How you think about Tyrese Halliburton right now compared to how high you had him? I feel the same way about Zion Williamson. Like, what's taking you so long to go ahead and put him that high? You know, and he's been even more dominating. It's less risky.
Maybe I should have put him higher.
Yeah,
I think Donovan swayed me. Like I with some people, I was like I said with Tyrese, I was like, fuck it, let's put him high. Like I don't need to see it. I see it already. It's who he is.
Yeah,
I probably should have did the same thing with Zion. He should be higher.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me realistically to take him or Jimmy Butler, I'm never gonna take Jimmy Butler. You know, I'm gonna pick Zion Williamson.
Never.
Like, if I'm being real, I feel obligated. I feel obligated to put Jimmy Butler higher because I'll get screamed at, and I understand his playoff value. But like to be real, I'm taking fucking Zion Williamson every time.
Zion. Dude, Zion's crazy, man. He's crazy. And the fact that his efficiency is back to where it is. Like, 2 years ago, it was there was like some super stat where he was getting like 50% of his offensive rebounds. Like he was just he's just a monster on the offensive glass, and I think second chance points provides a great amount of value on an offense and being able to win games. So yeah, Zion, he's moving up the list very, very quickly for me.
Love to see it. I think right now we're seeing his playmaking. He's starting to realize how he can bend a defense. Once that really comes together, hopefully by the end of this season, maybe it takes into next year, he's going to be taking the leap like back half of the top 10.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be where we both clearly have Ja Morant.
Not to
Which I just realized. Oh shit, you have him high?
Yeah.
Who?
Ja.
Oh.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Mo, is your next 10 ready, Mo?
Yeah, my next 10 is ready, but not to spoil, bro. Like I'm on. You guys talking about some Zion Williamson's playmaking has improved or whatever.
He gonna have Zion at 19.
It's always been that, bro. And he like they're just switching up the game plan and they're drawing up a whole new philosophy and truly going through him. He's always been at this, you know.
For sure. Second half of the season so far, the past 10 games, they've definitely done a better job of letting him create. First 10 games, there was too many people that need the ball. He kind of fell to the wayside. They fixed that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show us your 10, Mo.
All right, so this is my 10. This is the hardest. This is where I feel like this is fucked.
Wow.
All right, you know, and I will not take any of this to the grave whatsoever.
Hold on, wait a minute.
All right, so
go ahead.
20, I got Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
19, I have Paul George. All right.
That's
in and out of lineup,
so
you know, whatever, cool. I just feel like everyone else on this season has been better. Point blank. Period. I don't think there's a real argument for that. Everyone so far,
you're right. You're right. They have. I'm just giving Paul George credit, but you're right.
Yeah. So, 18, I have Shea, and I feel like that's low. I don't know why, but I hate that I put him at 18. Yeah. But I have to give respect to number 17 at Pascal Siakam. I have to give respect to 16, Donovan Mitchell. Trae Young, 15. You don't have to explain that. All right. 14.
He said Trae, you know me.
Yeah.
I'll be on the phone. John Morant's at 14.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're just holding on to this Trae versus Ja debate. You can't.
I am not doing that. I'm not doing it. How am I holding on to
I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. Keep going.
Yeah, he's leaped. So 13, Devin Booker. 12, have to give respect.
I strongly disagree.
Jimmy Butler. And then 11, I have Damian Lillard, which is crazy to put him outside of my top 10. So
there's no Zion in this 10.
There's not Zion here, yeah, bro. I told you.
Oh my god. I can't. Oh my god.
I need it. Export it.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So lots of back here.
Okay.
So, I think it's too low, but I get why you'd say that because Donovan Mitchell, Shea, all these people have been so much better at volume scores than him this year. Yeah. I get it. I'm just like I said, for all the reasons I explained, the impact reasons, like giving PG credit because we've seen he can do it next to other stars for so long.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Donovan, you got an issue with my shit. Where's the issue at?
I do not believe that Devin Booker is a better basketball player than Ja Morant. Please explain to me the logic there.
I'm purely giving him his respect, and also it was
no. Pause. Forget respect. Tell me why Devin Booker is better than Ja Morant.
I want to know too. I'm fucking confused.
Listen.
Tell me why Jimmy Butler is better than Ja Morant.
Devin Booker
you can't even tell me why. I'm not gonna believe you.
Listen,
I don't want to hear it.
listen. All right, y'all are making me out to seem like a fucking Devin Booker's number one fan on this podcast, which I pretty
playing
much
the
might
victim.
be. I'm playing victim. That's all I do my entire life, bro. I'm a manipulator. So, Devin Booker, right? I can understand why you think Ja Morant's a better player and all that. And I'm not fighting this tooth or nail. This is just me being like, he's been deserved more respect than what a lot of people have been giving him so far this season. And if I was to go ahead and pick one to build my team around or whatever for the rest of this season, I'm picking Devin Booker. Not to say that Ja Morant hasn't done things at an exceptional level or surpassed or met expectations. He's been doing that, bro. He's been doing that, and he's been him this season. And the Grizzlies are top 3 or maybe number 1 in the Western Conference. Shifting so much recently. Yeah. And as for Devin Booker, he's been doing the exact same. He's been doing not the exact same thing, of course, differently though, at his way, in his own way, in his play style, and he's been maxing out his fucking potential. There's only so much someone like Devin Booker can do, and he's been elevating his team. And the Phoenix Suns just don't feel the same at all compared to when Devin Booker's not there, compared to when Ja Morant's not there, and they have Tyus Jones and that. They're not as exciting, but they still have the game.
I hate that argument.
Like that. I know you hate that argument because there's some.
Memphis has good players. It is what it
Memphis
is.
does
they have a lot of good players.
Yeah, they do have good players. And I'm not faulting that on Ja Morant whatsoever.
Now you are.
No, I'm not. This is more so has to do with like Devin Booker and my appreciation for him.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I get it.
How much he's just improved, bro. He's been better and better and better. Maybe not statistically when it comes to point per game or whatever the fuck, but just as a whole, his game is so well rounded.
It is. Yeah,
defense too.
I think at this point he's the most balanced player in the NBA, like most versatile player in the NBA, besides like KD and whatnot. But like, he's can play off ball, can play on ball, can defend a little bit now, can be a playmaker, can be a scorer. I understand. I just think that Ja Morant is such a force of nature that I guess we should use this transition into the top 10, because I think Ja Morant has earned his place in the top 10. Not because his volume is as high or his efficiency is as high as some of these other guys. He's not the best playmaker, not the best defender. But I think with him, it's like all intangibles, which I hate from my style of analysis. But the way he can drive an offense and be this unstoppable force, he's just so impactful. Like we saw in the playoffs last year, it just cannot leave your mind. I won't let it. He was scoring 40 a night against the Warriors, giving them hell. Because he's just such an athletic marvel. The same things we say about Zion Williamson applies to Ja Morant. They're the same player. He's guard Zion, and Zion is big Ja. Like they're so similar. And Ja just deserves to be number 10, I think, which is where I have him.
I love it. I love it. Especially coming from Isaac, because Isaac is not like the that boy nice type of watcher, and the fact that that's like the main, like one of the defining arguments. Nice. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. I love it.
Here's the rest of my top 10.
Damn, but that gap in my mind though, like that gap that you have between Zion and Ja Morant, is kind of crazy. If you view them the same level of player, and Zion, you know what type of force Zion is, and why do you have him so low compared to Ja? Like that's just like
sample size. I think once Zion continues to do it, I'm gonna put Zion at like 12 by the end of the season.
Okay, gotcha. That's understandable.
So
gotcha.
This is the rest of my top 10. Ja Morant at 10, LeBron at 9, which hurts my fucking soul. I want to be the last one to move LeBron down. I think he might start and be proving me wrong. He's going to go back up. But for now, he's number 9. 8, we have Anthony Davis. 7, Jason Tatum. 6, Kevin Durant. 5, Joel Embiid. 4, Luka Doncic. 3, Nikola Jokic. Suck my dick if you disagree. 2, Steph Curry. And 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
There's no need for that.
Suck my dick if you disagree. Wow.
Everyone's going to hate that and be like, oh, Jokic shouldn't be top 10. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Jokic number 3.
Okay. There's some stuff to unpack here. I know that for you, the Luka and Embiid debate is one that's like really, really close for you.
It's so hard.
Why did you go Luka over Embiid?
Fucking vibes. I don't know. It's hard.
He admitted it. Fucking vibes.
I'm kidding. Well, like when I say that, I'm joking. But it's like in style of play, intangibles, all that bullshit. Like. It's kind of that where I know in a playoff setting, the role that Luka has, being this on-ball creator and being able to be this engine of an offense, that in a playoff setting is going to be harder to stop than a big, because Joel Embiid has done everything he can to kind of transcend what a big can do offensively. Like, he's a creator off the dribble. In transition, he's taking the ball up, taking off the dribble shots from the mid-range. Like, he's doing that stuff to the point where like he doesn't need to be fed the ball like normal bigs do. But just there's so much higher of a ceiling when you're Luka Doncic and you're a guard and everything can be created through you. You can't scheme Luka out of a game. You know what I mean?
So why don't you have Luka ahead of like Jokic then?
Because I think Jokic is one of the most incredible offensive players you've ever seen in NBA history. He has more defensive value than Luka. People like to say that he's like defensive liability, but that hasn't been the case for years. Obviously, he's not going to be able to defend Damian Lillard because no big in the NBA can. But he's a solid defender. He's the most efficient volume scorer in the NBA. He had early in the year like a 70% true shooting on 23 points per game, which is ridiculous. And I think he's probably the best passer in the NBA. Him and Luka are 1 and 2, I think. Mm-hmm. And just the things that Jokic is able to do as a big man, we've never seen it in NBA history in terms of offense. Yeah. I just don't think there's any way. There's nothing that Luka does better than him, I think.
Okay.
Besides dribble.
Cool.
That's fair. I'm kind of holding on to LeBron at 9. That hurts. It's tough. So weird. It's so weird to see LeBron like borderline outside the top 10. Yeah.
For me, so last year I still had him at like 5 or so because he was so great last year. He averaged 30. But I had to be real with myself. He was that great because they moved the team around to make him that great. He played center, and they spaced it out. They did what the Rockets did with Russell Westbrook, where they sacrificed parts of their team to allow their star player to eat and have his impact. That's what they did. So he was able to continue to hit the rim because there was so much spacing, no big next to him. But he doesn't have the defensive force he had in 2020 or before when they won their title. The main thing he dropped down for me now is his scoring efficiency has just fallen off a cliff. He's not as good from the rim. His three-point shot hasn't been as good. His shots from self-created shots aren't as good. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just everything has gotten 20% worse, which is to be expected as an old man. And maybe now that Anthony Davis is going to be out, he's going to prove to me that he can still do it, and he's going to turn on another gear. But, like, I couldn't put him above Anthony Davis.
Yeah, all this is crazy. Okay. Hearing, like, he's 20% worse, and he's still averaging fucking 27.
He's still the 9th best player alive.
Yeah, that's still nuts. But I don't see anything too crazy about this list whatsoever. Right? This year,
where did y'all rank KD? Because that was hard for me.
I'll listen. No, here's what I do. I'm gonna send my list.
Both of you.
I'm gonna send my list.
Yeah, both of you put your list. Let's just talk about them all at once.
All right. So here is my list. Let me drop this in. Boom.
Yeah, Don, you read yours, and Mo, you read yours.
All right. Gotcha. So I have Dame at 10, Ja at 9, KD at 8, Bron at 7, Tatum at 6, Luka at 5, Embiid at 4, Steph at 3, Jokic at 2, Giannis at 1.
Wow, Jokic at 2. Impressive.
Bro, Jokic is nice. It's like
give him his fucking flowers.
Listen. Isaac said a majority of everything that's going on with Luka, and we talked about it before. It's like the biggest argument that you can make against Luka against Jokic right now is he's not shooting enough. It's not that he's doing anything bad. He's not shooting worse, right? He's not taking worse shots. He's not shooting enough. And so if that's the biggest critique against you, which is 100% going to go up in the playoffs, I'm fine.
It's a stupid critique. It's such a bias towards point per game. Like, it's a dumb critique. Like, just making the right play.
Yeah, I'm good on that. So Jokic is 2. I'm holding on to Bron as long as I possibly can. I just still feel like 2 things are at work. One, the roster construction for LeBron is probably the worst that he's ever had. Yeah. In terms of the shooters that they have in LA are non-shooters. And so when you have that, it's like one of the best things that LeBron does, being able to drive and kick and facilitate to wide open shooters on the outside, you take that away from him with roster construction.
I think the point where I'm starting to accept is that we're at the point of LeBron's career where he needs the right roster construction, and the rest of these top 10 players kind of transcend that, where to a certain extent you have to build around every player properly so they have a chance, but it's
kind of malpractice though in Los Angeles. It is. You're right. In Los Angeles, like Pelinka did a terrible job, and so like it's freaking Pat. He's relying on Patrick Beverley night in and night out to knock down threes.
You look at KD. His roster sucks dick too, but it's just he's so transcendent around the players that he's portable with almost any set of people around him now. Like, it's stuff like that. Tatum's gonna fit with anybody. You don't have to do as much to enable them.
That's fair. Even the Nets shooters, like the Nets have Seth Curry and Joe Harris. If you put Seth Curry and Joe Harris on shooters, no, but even if you put those two
respect
guys,
Yuta. Yuta's nice.
Yeah.
Like,
if you put those two guys, and if you put Yuta on the Lakers, it completely changes the dynamic of everything that they're doing. So I'm holding on to Bron as much as possible, and I just still feel like in a playoff setting, I would love to have LeBron James on my team more.
Same, yeah.
I would just want to have LeBron more than Kevin Durant, more than Ja, and so that's why I have him at 7.
Yeah, wow. I feel like I'm overreacting as well to LeBron placement. Like I don't know, I don't sleep well on that one. Mo, why don't you tell us your top 10 now?
So my top 10 is at 10. I got Zion Williamson, bro. Over the last 10 games since he's been in this mode, he's fucking averaging 30 points and shooting 65% from the field. Are you kidding me right now? That's ridiculous. Crazy. All right, and I'm clinging on to LeBron James at 9. That's what I have to do, bro. It's kind of law at this point. At 8, I got Anthony Davis. Been fucking phenomenal, but he fucking hurt himself. So, he would be higher on this if he could continue this on a consistent basis. But news came out anyways. Okay. 7, Jason Tatum, elite. 6, Joel Embiid, which is crazy hell to put him out there. 5, I have Kevin Durant. I know you don't like that. I don't give a fuck though. You know why, dude? I feel like people are just so hesitant to put KD in these MVP type conversations, and because it's like
he shouldn't be.
MVP.
You said they shouldn't be or should be?
No, he shouldn't be. Listen, why? KD is number what I have at 6. He's number 6 off of sheer talent and the impact he has with one part of the game, scoring. He's a solid defender still, but at this part of his career, he's offering some playmaking, but just in like I'm making the right reads, but not I'm elevating you and making high-level reads like somebody like Luka is. He's not an overtly impactful defender like somebody like Joel Embiid is. He can't finish at the rim anymore, so like we saw in the playoffs last year, you can kind of scheme him out of the game if you
he got clamped.
Take with his mid-range shots.
He got clamped.
Call a spade a spade.
He's so much less versatile than he used to be.
He got shut down.
He has no athleticism anymore. He's purely relying on jump shots, which clearly gets him far as shit. He's still amazing.
Nah, just say he's washed.
In a playoff setting, like I'm not taking him over Luka or over Joel Embiid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I'm definitely taking him over Joel Embiid too because like I'm using. I don't know if you want to call it recency bias, but like it just every time I see Joel Embiid in the playoffs, it's fucking disappointing. Whether it be mainly, I would say it's mainly because of his team. It's a disappointment.
Is it Ben Simmons' disappointment or Joel Embiid disappointment?
Joel Embiid still could have done enough in any series. I feel like he still had more.
I'm about to cap for Embiid. Embiid, and you should know this. You should know this more than anybody because it was against your team. Embiid went out there with a torn meniscus and was giving y'all 40 a night.
Health is also another fucking reason as well. But continue.
KD's injury prone as shit now. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I know, but since he's had his injury, he's been out there doing his motherfucking thing.
No, I think he's missed more games the past 3 years than Joel Embiid has.
Nah,
fact check me on that. But KD's missed a lot of games lately. I'll check that. Make sure. Yeah. Keep going.
But look, Embiid is right now. I would say total package probably just as good a scorer as Kevin Durant in terms of being able to do absolutely everything.
Okay.
He's a much better defender. Once again, even on a torn meniscus, giving y'all 40. He had a broken face last year, still giving people 40. He's been able to fight through those injuries and still be able to dominate on both ends of the floor. And if Ben Simmons doesn't get scared of Trae Young running at him and dunks the ball, maybe they end up in the conference finals. If James Harden decides to shoot more than 2 times in the second half, maybe they end up in the conference finals. I don't think that the playoff failures from the 76ers have been on Joel Embiid at all. I don't think that they're his fault. And I think that Embiid
real quick on the games played thing, in 2021 Kevin Durant missed 2020, right? In 2021, he played 35 games. In 2021, Joel Embiid played 51. In 2022, Kevin Durant played 55. Joel Embiid played 68.
Okay.
And then this year, it's 20 and 29. Like, Kevin Durant's injury prone. Like, we have to say what it is. Like, he misses a lot of fucking games now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a mishap. What were you saying?
Embiid, yeah, I would take Embiid and what we just saw, like I was saying, what we saw in the playoffs last year, this man didn't get a game. He got swept out of the playoffs. He did not get a game as the quote unquote best scorer in
True.
Bro. The game winner that Tatum had in game 1, that's because KD laps on defense because like stuff just happened. I'm so frustrated. that actually makes me mad because there's no way that Kevin Durant is better than Joel Embiid. And I'm not taking it.
It's 6-5, so it's tooth and nail right there.
Yeah, it's close. Like, yeah.
No, it's not.
I think for me,
it's clear.
At this point, for me, it's like, okay, it's Game 7. I'm using one of those arguments. I don't like, bro. Game 7. Who the fuck would I rather have on my fucking team? Give me
alien point the laser beam of the planet, fate of the universe.
Yeah. Who do you want? Iguodala.
No, I think for me at this point, obviously Joel Embiid is the better defender. We don't gotta talk about that. But offensively, Kevin Durant is still an elite scorer who has impact because he's just not gonna fucking miss his shots, right? You can play around him, he can fit around anybody. But I think Joel is the opposite of that. It's not that he can play around everybody. It's that everybody else can play around Joel, and he's going to impact so much more of his teammates than Kevin Durant is because of his gravity at the rim, where he's this – it's kind of like Zion, right? He's just like nonstop downhill. He's going to create advantages and force double teams. Kevin Durant has none of that anymore. He's like the opposite, where he's a play finisher, not a play creator anymore. And I think Joel Embiid's creation ability, especially as his playmaking has gotten better, is just simply more valuable.
Yeah. With the way Donovan was arguing with me, he acted like I put fucking Joel Embiid at 10 and KD at 1.
Facts.
That's 5 and 6. Tooth and nail, literally.
It's just because I've long listen. I have gripes with Kevin Durant, but I also just don't think that it's fair to Joel Embiid. Absolutely. To have him outside the top 5 when he's one of the best two-way players in the game. And I don't think that Kevin
Durant in scoring, I think, so far too.
Exactly, and I just don't think that Kevin Durant is that much better than anybody offensively right now, to where you can, put him over some of the better two-way players.
Yeah, I love how we've done zero discussion about Giannis and Steph at the top because we all agree.
So did I tell y'all where I had them? All right, let me finish. So I think we stopped at KD at 5. Okay, Nikola Jokic, crazy, but I have him at 4. Luka Doncic at 3, then Steph at 2, and then Giannis at 1.
That's fair.
Okay, so obviously top 2 we agree, but I mean, we put Jokic above Luka. Why don't you explain? I kind of know why, but explain why you put Luka above Jokic.
Because he's like that.
Yeah, exactly. So simple because he's not. But I put Luka above Jokic because I feel like at this moment in time, like Jokic, the way his team is set up, he's just propelled for fucking success. And I know eventually that Luka's gonna hit a goddamn wall, whether it be the Golden State Warriors or whatever team, or the Denver Nuggets. He's gonna hit a wall simply because his team is limited and the Denver Nuggets are limitless. But as individual talents, I believe that the only thing that's limiting Luka is all the other dudes who have certain inabilities compared to Nikola Jokic's team,
I see what you mean. Here's the paradox in that.
Yeah.
The reason you're putting him above Jokic is probably because he's averaging like a 30-point triple-double damn near, and every night he's going here scoring 40-point triple-doubles, which is impressive. But on one hand, he has to do that because his team sucks. So that's part of it. So you can say that he's only not winning games because his team suck, but the only reason his numbers are so good are also because his team sucks. So, you know what I mean? You can't get both of that. Like, know what I mean?
But even if his team was better, I still think that he would have a higher ceiling than someone like Nikola Jokic, simply because it's a guards league. Period. That's my biggest.
It's not though. Why do people still say that? The best players in the Giannis has won 2 straight he won 2 straight MVPs. He won a finals. Like him, Jokic, and Embiid are 3 of the best players alive. It's not a guards league anymore.
Him, Jokic, and Embiid are definitely like some of the 3. You could argue that 3 best players alive, but like just 1 through 10, as we see, it's all mostly forwards or whatever the fuck you want to say. People who tend to play.
It's a wings league. It's not
a wings league. You know what it is? It's a playmakers league. And Jokic is probably the best playmaker alive. Like he transcends that like novelty of big man can't do this. Like he doesn't fit that category at all.
Yeah,
that was a great quote. That was nice.
Yeah, stamp that on your fucking wall, Isaac. Stamp that on your fucking wall.
Yeah,
but write it down. Put it on the board.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's 3 and 4. I truly don't give a fuck. Like but
it's obviously not crazy.
Yeah,
but these are conversations we gotta have. It's the fun part.
Yeah, exactly. But for someone like Luka Doncic, it's easier. Like you said, Nikola Jokic is a fucking alien, and I haven't seen what he's done before, and I want to see it be done at the highest level. In terms of Luka Doncic, we've seen it millions of times before. People, all these all-time greats who win championships with this type of play style. What do you mean?
I mean, if you want to get pessimistic,
just basic archetype is what I mean by that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But if you want to get pessimistic, you can say that Luka's more in the James Harden archetype. The only one we've seen do that fails because he has too much of a load and burns out. Like, if you want to, I'm not that pessimistic. I think it's bullshit to focus too much on that comparison. But in a way, we are seeing the league trend away from these ball handlers that do everything and be heliocentric. We are starting to see that get exposed in the playoffs, and you need more options. Like, you could say that Luka's playstyle isn't as conducive to high level success.
Yeah, I could see that, but more so, I guess this will also put in my belief, if there is a belief, which I'm not sure if there's a belief yet, is whether or not he'll like change up his play style once
he won't.
The time comes.
He won't.
And he gets more help on his team, and that's a big if. That's a big if. I don't know if
I don't think he will, but I don't think he should. I think they should get stars next to him that can play around that. You know what I mean? Like a Paul George type, whoever else they may be, a fucking Nikola Jokic type, ironically, someone that doesn't need the ball all the time. But I see what you mean.
I want to push back on that a little bit. I think that it is very unrealistic to ask somebody who probably for the first 7 years of his career, and obviously like we're projecting a little bit with Luka, but for the first 5 to 6, 7 years of his career, is asked to be this extreme high usage. We're gonna run everything through you, and then now we're gonna get another star as good as you, and you're just gonna magically be okay with playing off ball. The same problems that Trae Young is having right now, figuring out how to play off ball to another ball dominant player. If somebody like that goes with Luka, I don't think that it's gonna go well. And I think that I think that there are going to be limitations with Luka playing off ball and him switching up not switching up his entire game, but trying to add that facet into his game when he spent his entire career, even overseas, being the person with the ball 85% of the time.
Yeah, hopefully they don't make him try and do that. It's just miscasting him. Like, you're right. They need to get somebody that can play with him.
Yeah, I can definitely see that argument.
Yeah, I don't see it for Luka. But good list though. Good list though.
Yeah, Zion at 10 is crazy. I love it. I'm glad you were making.
I'm very
that
happy
early.
with that too.
Yeah. I'm not willing to go there yet, but I fully support you being the first one to be like, fuck these top 10.
Yeah.
You're gonna get cooked. I'll let you know now. They're gonna be mad at you, but I'm not. I support you.
By the time this podcast comes out, they're gonna understand, bro. He's gonna go on. His numbers are gonna be fucking inflated by the time this podcast comes out. So it's all good.
Yeah. Nobody talked about Jason Tatum. I think we all agree he's in that mid to back half of the top 10. Like, it just is what it is. Like, fits in there solidly. Like, you got to give him credit over the Anthony Davis and LeBron James of the world, but you can't really put him over the top guys like Joel Embiid and Jokic and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's probably going to win MVP this year, though.
Yeah, he's my pick.
He's my pick. What he did to the Lakers was disgusting. Oh my goodness!
It was nice.
Turnarounds, splashing, bottom of the net hitting. It's a sight to see.
He's an amazing player.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's our list. I mean, so that was an awkward transition because we had, as always, we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. And
we have
we're done with the
technical
rankings.
difficulties because they haven't liked the video yet and we haven't blew up yet. So if you guys blow our shit up, you will no longer
get us
have
paid.
technical
Then
difficulties. Tell them the real Isaac. Stop being the bush. Stop being nice.
No. But we're done with the rankings. You guys saw it, all 30. So now it's TikTok time. The main thing everybody's going to be seeing.
Yeah.
And I think we should start off with something we do all the time, a draft.
Let's go.
I love drafts.
This is going to be a little different because normally we just do regular drafts of like the best players in the league right now, the best players all time. This is going to be different because we're going to make lineups of point guard through center of only players above 7 feet tall.
Nah, it's going to be hairy. You're going to have some people in the comments be like, hey, excuse me, sir. Technically, this dude was 6'11.75 inches.
Yeah, so we're going to go off. We're going to go off their official heights. So like, sadly, Jokic is 6'11", so we can't use him as a point guard.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody has to be listed at least 7 feet tall.
All right, that's cool. Who has the first pick? That's all I care about.
Oh, who had it last time? Whose turn?
I think I had it last time.
And I was second.
I think I should have it.
No, I think it's my turn to go first. Mo's turn to go second. Donovan goes third.
All right,
because we rotate through every time.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay,
Let's
so let's draft NBA lineups with only 7-footers.
Let's do it.
First pick, man, give me Shaq. Give me Shaq number 1.
Whack.
Okay.
I
Shaq, you
gotta
got
say,
Shaq number 1.
give me Shaq to go into my center position. We're gonna do it. We're gonna say the position every time. So I'm gonna list it out that way instead of 1 through 5.
Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna put Shaq in my center.
Cool. I'm gonna have Wilt Chamberlain at the fucking. What the fuck did I just say? Anyways, don't mind that. I'm gonna have Wilt Chamberlain for my actual center position as well.
Okay, yeah. Wilt's a great pick for this because he's so athletic.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Give me Hakeem Olajuwon as my actual center,
Okay.
and
Damn.
then give me Joel Embiid as my shooting
Fuck!
guard.
I wanted Joel Embiid so bad.
Give me Joel Embiid as my
Damn.
shooting guard. That's
I was
right.
praying he fell to
That's
me.
so tough.
That's
That
right.
ruined my whole game plan.
Yeah, that's so tough.
We're winning this one. Let's go.
All right, so
Okay.
who do you have, Isaac?
It's your turn, Mo.
It's on you.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Snake shit. Anyways, cool. I got Dirk Nowitzki as my
Fuck!
4. As my 3. As my 3. There
Damn.
you go. Yeah. Gotta prioritize
Okay,
certain
well,
shit.
you guys took the good center. You guys took the good shooters that are available, so I just ruined my game plan.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta pick fucking Karl Anthony Towns to be my shooting guard because I need the shooting, even though it's disgusting
Nice.
to pick him so high.
Yeah. Good shooter. Good shooter.
Nice.
And then you pick. Did somebody pick Kareem yet?
No, I don't think so.
He picked
Okay, and
Hakeem.
I'll put. Okay, then I'll put Kareem in my 4. So I'm not gonna have the spacing, but I gotta pick the talent.
Yeah, spacing is gonna be generally nasty for every single one of us. Clunky as hell.
For y'all. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Who you
ahead,
got,
Mo.
Mo?
Okay, so I'm gonna have David Robinson as my 4.
That's a great pick. That's a good pick.
That was my pick.
give me David
Okay. You messing me up right now. You messed me up. Now I have to think outside the box. Let me see how tall. I don't think this man is 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'm trying. He's 6'11". I was finna go Bill Walton. Try to sneak Bill Walton in there. I guess we might just have to do this. Give me Patrick Ewing at my 4.
Damn.
Okay.
Nice. That's nice.
I'll take Patrick Ewing at my 4. So I need a point guard and a 3. I really need a list of all the 7-footers.
Yeah, this is hard.
This is so weird.
That's all I do when we draft. Oh God, I'm shameless. I don't give a fuck if you can't see me or not on the FaceTime.
Facts. All right, give me. All right, yeah, I'm gonna speed this up. I got y'all. I'm gonna speed this up. Give me Kristaps Porzingis at my 3.
Oh, that's a good pick.
That's a great pick. I didn't even think
Fuck.
about his weak ass.
He's
Damn.
7'3". He's 7'3".
Yeah. He is
Damn.
7'3". Okay. Shit.
Listen, I low key got some shooters. I low key.
You
Low-key,
have
my
some
spacing may
shooters.
not be
You
bad.
do definitely have some shooters. Now, I have to do this just in terms of stylistic play for my point guard.
Don't you dare.
Give me. Fuck, should I do this?
Don't
no,
you
I'm
dare.
not going to do this.
Don't you
Because I know
dare.
he's going to be available. All
Don't
right?
you dare,
So
Mo.
for my 2, I think I need him on my team. Give me Pau Gasol.
Oh, that's a good pick. See,
Okay.
I see where you're going. But Powell wasn't the best 3-point shooter. So I was thinking that I'm going to pick Marc Gasol for my 3.
That's good.
Marc Gasol's a better shooter. I need
That's
the
good.
spacing. So I need a
But
point
Marc
guard.
Gasol 6'11".
No, he's
Okay, I'm
not.
capping.
No, he's not, is he?
No,
I'm
he's
capping.
not.
I'm capping.
Who's
Don't
that?
even say. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah.
Okay.
You finna check.
No, I'm not going to check.
Mo,
Who's...
if you take,
Yeah.
Mo, I'm gonna let you know right now. If you take my pick, I'm flying out there and
I need a
we're
point
scrapping.
guard. Who should I pick at point guard? I'm so mad that Jokic is 6'11".
Yeah.
Who makes sense? I'm looking at best. Giannis is 6'11", right? Or is he 6'10"?
He's
Giannis
6'11".
is 6'11".
Yeah,
Damn,
he's
who's
6'11".
the point guard to go for? This is difficult. You took Patrick Ewing. I meant you took David Robinson.
Yeah.
That David Robinson pick
Shit.
was fire.
I should have picked Wilt as my fucking point guard.
I wish I had David Robinson.
Yeah.
Said,
You know what?
yep.
Fuck it. Yao Ming is my point guard.
Fucking
Oh my goodness.
Yao Ming is a hack,
7'6".
bro.
That's crazy.
Yao Ming is a hack. All right, so cool. As my point guard, I have to do it. He's not prevalent or he's far from one of the greatest of all time, but in terms of skills, he can get the job done. Give me Bol Bol at my point guard position, bro. Give me Bol Bol.
Yeah, I
know
thought
it's
about
gonna
that.
happen. Yeah, I
Bobo's
just
getting
need
fucking
it.
bodied every play. You're sick.
Bro,
All right, Mo.
bro.
All right, Mo.
Can't name too many players on this who can keep up with him.
We're calling
Mo.
post ups on Bobo every single play.
Mo, I see how it is. I see how it is. I see how you want to play. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I need it.
He saved
No.
you. You don't want fucking Bobo.
I did want Bobo. That was my last pick. Now I have to rethink this.
All right, so who
You
do you
know
have,
what?
Isaac, on your squad? Oh, you got it? Okay, let's go.
I think I have it. I think I know exactly who I'm gonna pick. At my point guard, this is gonna be so nasty. Give me Zydrunas Ilgauskas
Why would you pick it?
as my point guard. He could do a couple things.
Okay.
He could do a couple things. He's a
You take your
little
medication today?
he's a little mobile. My team will body yours. Put it in 2K. Put it in 2K. You getting swept, Mo.
No, sir.
You got
No,
you
sir.
got. Stop it.
That's funny. These are hilarious teams.
Yeah, no.
What was I supposed to do, Mo? We're picking people over 7 feet. Bobo's the only one with like actual handles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
Is there any
Who am I gonna-
Can I use the word projection one more time and be like, give me Wemby or not? Just reach.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, facts.
Okay. That's funny. That's going to be a good TikTok. All right, for the next thing we got, I'm going to ask you something that has to do with former players in the current NBA.
Okay.
So
Sounds
what we're going to
interesting.
do is, I'll just ask you this. If Allen Iverson was in the NBA today, would he be a top 4 player? Let me
Ooh,
rephrase
you're
that.
in your bag.
If Allen Iverson was in the NBA today, would he be a top 4 player?
No, he would not be. He would not be a top 4 player. He wouldn't be better than Giannis, Steph, Jokic, or Luka
Or Embiid?
or Embiid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What would he
he
rank?
might not be top 5.
Would he be
I
top
don't
10?
think he would be. I don't think he would be top 8. I
Borderline
don't think
top
he would
10.
be top 10.
Who
He
would
would
be
be
top 10?
definitely. Yeah, he would be in the top. He would be like after 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's when you can have those conversations with him. But
Oh my God!
That's
You
crazy.
think prime Allen Iverson's in the Jimmy Butler range?
okay, don't say Jimmy Butler range like that. All right, say Damian Lillard. That makes me feel better about myself. Damn.
Okay. Where would prime Kobe Bryant rank?
Still
Top
top
five.
five.
Top 5.
Bro, he's top 1. It's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say one, whatever. What?
You,
Using
ask,
that
you
word.
asked me if he was going to be top 5. Yes, he's going to be top
Yeah.
5.
No, I said
Yeah.
where would he rank? What number would he be?
I don't know. 1, because you're right. He's Kobe.
Prime
Yeah,
at
prime
this,
06
at this
Kobe.
state and the NBA, I think he would be probably 1 or 2.
You'd have him behind Giannis?
I might have him behind Giannis. Dude, Giannis is different.
Ooh.
He's
Bro, it's
27.
Kobe
He's already
Bryant.
top 10 to this. I know
The
it's Kobe Bryant.
nerds would hate Kobe Bryant. So all he
No,
takes
oh my
is
God.
hard twos. I said, shut
You know what I
up.
mean? But today,
Shut up.
Put Kobe with 2022 spacing. He'd be a
Shut
fucking
up.
demon at the
He
rim.
gets buckets. He's the Mamba. That's what he
Yeah.
does. Why don't you focus on getting
That
buckets?
is true. That is true.
What
He's
about-
not
what about
fucking
Dirk
going out
Nowitzki?
there. Ooh,
What about Dirk? Where would Dirk rank?
Dirk would be top 10. He just left this era. Like a prime Dirk
Yeah.
he's top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would he be higher than? Would prime Dirk be higher than current AD?
Probably.
Current
That's tough.
80?
That's a tough one.
Probably.
That's tough. Current 80
Would you
is
put prime
crazy,
Dirk
though.
ahead of Jason Tatum?
I think Dirk
Probably.
would be better than Tatum, yeah, for sure. So I think he would
He'd
be
be
number 7. Number 7, you could say 6.
Yeah, we're really
Okay,
being
cool.
disrespectful to Dirk. Dirk was out here winning.
Yeah, it's Dirk.
He was out here winning MVP. Like, yes, he's going to be top 10. He's going to be better than a lot of these guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where would Steve Nash rank? Let me rephrase. This to be a new video. Where would Steve Nash rank in the current NBA?
Probably like top 20.
Top
Yeah, I'll
20.
say
Steve
I'll
Nash-
say anywhere from 15 to 20 range.
Steve Nash
Prime
is,
Steve Nash?
he's one of the more
Yeah.
overrated players in NBA history.
Are you taking Devin Booker over prime Steve Nash?
No.
That's a good question.
Well, there you go. Devin Booker's like the 13th best player or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm definitely taking Devin Booker over Steve Nash.
What?
I don't know.
Prime,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not a Steve Nash type of guy. He's not my cup of tea.
All right, what about Dwayne Wade? Where would he rank?
Top 10.
Oh, Dwayne Wade would be top. He would be top 6.
Yeah.
Talk
Would Dwayne
about
Wade
it.
Dwayne Wade would be above Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have
I
confidence
agree.
with
So,
Joel Embiid.
so I agree.
for
So
sure.
he's top 5.
Yep.
Would he be above Luka?
Maybe not because of the passing.
It's a conversation. That's hard.
Yeah, but listen, y'all be forgetting ballhead Wade. That's a different animal.
Different.
That's
That
a
rim
different
grab
animal.
was
Wade,
ridiculous.
skinheaded
Give him
Wade
today's
is a
spacing,
demon.
bro. He would easily average like 30 points per game with like 60% true shooting.
He's
Yeah.
fire. Yeah.
Yeah, that ball down.
Today's
had him
spacing,
feeling
ugh.
different, bro.
Ridiculous. All right, what about Scottie Pippen?
Oh,
This would be interesting because he would be really good in today's game.
Yeah, I would say 15. I would say anywhere from between 15 or 12 to 16, 17, around that range.
12 to 16, 17. Okay.
Scottie Pippen
Would he-
would be a reserve all-star in this league.
What?
Damn, reserve prime Scottie Pippen.
What?
We're talking.
You think he wouldn't be like top
Prime
20?
Scottie.
He wouldn't be an all-star starter. He wouldn't be like
Oh,
Like,
oh.
yeah.
I thought you meant like an alternate. Like he's
No.
going to be like.
No,
okay.
no. Yeah, he's making the All-Star game, but like the coaches are gonna have to vote him. Like he's never gonna get those votes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So you don't.
I
So
can
he's not
hear
a top 10 player to you, but he's a top like 15 or so.
Yeah, like 15 to 20-ish.
Yeah. Like I'm
He
looking
would
at
feast
the
in
list.
this
Like,
league.
I mean, like Donovan Mitchell's like the 14th or 15th best player this year. He's gonna be way fucking better than Donovan Mitchell.
Nah, he's getting crossed
Yeah.
out. I'm playing.
Like Drew, I got.
JK,
like,
JK.
He's better than Paul George.
Is he? I
Yes.
feel like that's a conversation.
Scottie Pippen.
Listen, Scotty didn't really have a bag like that though.
Oh my god.
Offensively, I don't know. We got to talk about it. I may
think
ultimately
Prime
pick
Scotty's.
Scotty.
He's knocking on the
I
door.
don't
in
think
top
there's
10.
anything to talk about, bro.
I may ultimately pick Scotty, but like it's not a no-brainer, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, next one. I'm gonna send you guys the doc from last podcast. Go to the bottom of this, and you'll see the jerseys we're gonna talk about right now.
Okay.
We're gonna play a little game I like to call old versus new. We did with logos a couple podcasts ago. So today we're gonna look at jerseys from different teams and decide which is better, the old one or the new one.
Oh, I've been waiting on this. Let's go.
Okay. Which NBA jersey is? Wait, how do I phrase this? Which NBA jersey is better, old or new? The Lakers.
The old jersey is better. The old jersey is better. Yes,
don't
it
know
is.
if I agree.
I'm gonna tell y'all why.
Okay.
And so number one, we hate capitalism. Nike, even though that I'm wearing this sweater, came in, ruined the NBA's jerseys. The Lakers are the purple and gold. Their new jerseys are yellow. They are not gold. The other ones are a more indicative color of what the Lakers should represent.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with the modern ones just because the collar with the stripes rather than that weird like little wishbone thing they had in the old ones. I don't like the collar at all.
I think that's just a fucking that generation. That was that generation's thing, though. So I can't.
And that
fault them
generation
on
was
that.
ugly.
Yeah, I just simply like, why would you have that purple Lakers font and then not make the number the same color?
People do
doesn't
that
make
all the
any sense.
time, and I promise you don't notice that.
Right? Yeah, I noticed it. Like fucking, who's this behind LeBron in this goddamn picture? Is this Bruce Brown? Same thing with the Denver Nuggets. I hate that shit. Make it consistent. I hate
Give
it.
me the New Jersey. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Nah,
New Jersey.
nah, you're tripping.
Nostalgia's not gonna blind me. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck this.
gonna-
If it was, if you had Roberts, no, not Roberts. Who's a random Shannon Brown in that jersey? Would you still
Robert
say?
Sarver.
Not Sarver. My bad.
Even Zachary.
If you had Shannon Brown in that jersey instead of Kobe, would that be the same answer? Donovan, be real.
Yes,
You're lying.
we're talking about jerseys.
Yeah,
That's
you're
funny.
lying.
Okay. All right. What about the 76ers?
Old. Easily.
The old one is too
That old-
iconic. It's
It
too
just-
iconic.
See, I want to pick the old one too. I like the logo more, the Sixers with the ball going across. But I don't know, the colors in the new one, the red with the white, looks so clean that it makes me almost want to pick that one.
You telling me you don't like satin basketball jerseys? Come on now. Come
Listen,
on
I
now.
love the Sixers one, but that blue on the new one, bro, that shit is gorgeous.
Nah,
That
it
blue
seems-
on the new one is clean, but there's nothing comparable to that old style.
Talk
Nothing
about it, Mo.
compared-
Yeah,
nothing like it.
That logo is real nice. I guess I'll go with the old one too.
Talk about it, Mo.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like the cut of the jersey. Like that old cut with the big giant shoulders. It looks terrible.
That's just
Yeah,
2000s
true.
fashion.
Yeah, that's
Shit
just
was
2000
ass.
fashion. You can't blame him on
Yes, I
that.
can. It sucks. Okay. How about what about the Houston Rockets?
New in a
New
heartbeat.
easy.
Yeah.
This old
Easy?
one is one. Yes, when they changed it from this old one in like 2015, it was the most needed refresh. That old one with the stripes on the side, it was so dated. This new
What are
one is
them-
gorgeous comparatively.
Yeah, them two big ass loopy loops at the bottom were just
fuck that
disgusting, bro.
shit.
They were so unflattering,
Yeah.
if you ask me. Yeah.
As a Houston native, y'all gonna have to ease up.
I don't think I'm giving them enough smoke.
Those are nice. Those are okay. I think the new one, they're cool. They're okay. This is honestly, in my opinion, this is a wash. They're both just okay.
I like the new ones a lot.
Yeah.
See, I don't love the current iteration as much, but the late James Harden, Chris Paul team ones, those was the perfect jersey, I think. I think those are the best Rockets ones we've seen in decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What about Oklahoma City?
Okay,
Just
so
the
has
old-
some cool jerseys, but the old one washes.
You listen, I'm going Supersonics, with no
The old
hesitation.
one.
It's,
Owen
It's
Watts.
cannot even
clean,
close.
clean sweep.
yeah.
Yeah, we've never seen anything like that before. Not replicatable whatsoever.
OKC's jerseys are totally fine, I guess, but they're just fine. The Seattle
Yeah.
Supersonics was elite branding.
Bro, that color scheme was crazy. We still don't see color schemes like that in the NBA whatsoever. Elite branding, the Sonics, where the basketball is at, just insane to me, bro.
Adam Silver's driving the NBA down.
Hey,
I, had
wait
to,
for-
I,
for you.
I had to get that off.
Wait for the New Mexico Sonics back. The New Mexico Sonics gonna go ahead and appear in the NBA in 2025. Wait on it.
That's funny. All right, what about the Golden State Warriors?
I kind of like the new ones better. I think the new ones, they're just a little
Yeah.
cleaner. I like the old
Yeah.
ones. I like the color scheme of the old ones, but the new jersey, just that feel, it's clean.
Yeah,
And it
If we were
works.
talking like the old ones, like the blue ones with the red letters, sure. But I'm definitely taking the new ones over this 2000s one. Like, it's not really close to me.
See, this is close to me simply because I like just the big ass W, and then it starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller towards the other end, and that's really on par with Brandon, if you ask me. I fuck with the old
Yeah.
one.
The problem is that
But the
navy
new ones
blue
ain't
with those
bad.
shades of orange are just not complementary colors. I feel like they're just like a nasty color
Yeah,
scheme.
that is a navy blue, huh? That's nasty
Yeah.
as fuck. Never mind.
Yeah.
You got better
How did you
eyesight
switch
than
up
me.
like
I thought
that?
that shit was black. I thought that shit was
I know.
black.
So easy. No, if it was black jerseys are automatic W. So if that shit was black, I'd be picking it every time.
Yeah. Who the fuck idea was that shit? Oh my god, they fumbled so hard.
All
What's next?
right, next up we got. Let me look at my list. I think we're gonna save the other ones for later.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's
Oh,
all.
we're
we
not
got.
gonna do the Miami one.
Oh, it's a Miami one? No, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm blind. Where is it?
at
keep
all the way
scrolling
at
down.
page 9.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. What about the Miami Heat?
I'm gonna go with
Old
the
ones.
old ones,
Easily
just for
old.
the detail on the T that has the little flame. So nice, such
Yeah.
a nice touch.
See, it's not even just that for me. It's the big white block numbers with the big hard red drop shadow. That style is so gorgeous to me and just adds this kind of contrast that the new ones just don't have at all.
We're a graphic design pod. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like the Miami's new jerseys or this new school jersey or whatever. It's one of the most boring in the NBA, if you ask.
It
me.
is. You know
And
why?
they have
Because
so
they
much
have that
potential.
fucking. You know what it is? They have that nasty ass wishbone on the collar. It's so ugly. I hate that.
Yeah,
It's funny because
Striped collars every time.
the Warriors have the same thing. The new Warriors ones have the same thing.
yeah, they do. Stay consistent, Isaac.
I simply do not see.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's all we got now. That would get us some funny TikToks in.
Cool.
But
All right. I guess we're done. It was a good episode. Got our rankings out there. It was stressful. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you enjoyed it, leave us a like, drop a subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, rate us 5 stars. Help us grow. Yeah. We'll see you next time.
See ya.